Hey, welcome everyone to the Coffee and Nuance Show. I'm your host, Tom Coffee. This is a show that's more honest than a politician's promise to lower taxes. Today we're talking about lying. How many times should you believe someone once they lie? Let me put it this way. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, and I'm a daily reader of the New York Times. Seriously, folks, lying is a serious issue, especially when it comes to our elected officials. They lie so much, they should come with a warning label. Something like, may contain more BS than a factory farm. And let's not forget about the news media who've turned truth into a 4-letter word. Seriously. We need to hold politicians and our news media accountable for their lies. We need to demand the truth, even if it hurts. And we need to stop believing everything we hear just because it confirms our own biases. So just remember the saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Let's take it a step further. Fool me 3 times, I'm going to have to fact check your ass. My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show. Best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Hey, thanks everyone. Thanks thanks for joining me today. All 2 million of you that are joining me on this program. Can't believe we're up to 2 million people already. I don't know. You don't believe me. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot about this. And we keep going back to the same sources that lie to us over and over again. And we really don't have a rule for that, If there's a source, if your buddy lies to you and he's like, yeah, I'm on my way. I'll be there in 15 minutes. But every single time he hasn't even left his driveway yet. How many times does that have to happen before you stop believing him? How many times? And in the same way, how many times can a news source or a politician or something lie to you and you just keep lapping it up? I was thinking about this. A guy I liked had a sports program and it was a comedy program, and he had something called the Scheiser list. Which is a Scheisse is a German for shit, right? So he had a list of people that were on his list, right? And I kind of feel like there should be a list where you can show where someone has lied, like a couple examples of it. How many examples would we need to have? For example, let's say there is I talked about Glenn Kessler, the fact checker for Washington Post, absolutely lying yesterday. Earlier in the week, absolutely lied with a different fact check. And I could come up with you put this on a web page, you make a little presentation, you show someone has a history of lying. How many lies would there have to be? And I don't just mean exaggerations. I don't mean hyperbole. I don't mean a sales job. If someone's selling something, if you're a politician and you're making these grand that's politicians make grand promises. I understand. You use hyperbole, but I just mean straight up lies. Weapons of mass destruction level lies. How many times do we need to get that before we can just write them off? I want to know. Let me know in the comments. And speaking of comments, I think I've made the YouTube chat a little bigger. I don't know if that's readable or not, or does it have to be even bigger? So you can let me know. Make the comments even bigger, Tom. I will keep working on it. I will keep working on the style. and all that good stuff. But yeah, let me know in the comments how many times someone needs to lie before we can just call them repeated liar. Because I think I might like to just start a list of these repeated liars and put together an example of so many examples. Glenn Kessler, would it just take 3 examples to call him a known liar, or would it be 10 or 12 or 100? How many examples do we need of someone lying before we can call them a confirmed liar? Because at a certain point, it just gets ridiculous. You know, I know that the Washington Post ran a thing where they fact-checked, right, Trump. And, you know, they said he had lied 10,000 times or something like that. And then you look into it, and admittedly, Donald Trump lies. I'm not saying Donald Trump doesn't lie, but like over 90% of the so-called lies that they were talking about were exaggerations and hyperbole, and I don't really care about that. I'm talking about the whoppers, you know. So how many? Natasha says 42 in the chat, 42 times. It's going to be a lot of work to come up with 42 times someone lied, but it's not going to be that hard, because that's what these people are. They're paid propagandists, paid liars. So if it's a 42, I get the reference. You know, we can do that. But we should agree on it. I don't know. 3 times, 5 times? That's something to think about. But we got some interesting stories to get to today. Let's talk about RFK Jr. has decided to run for president. That's exciting. Talk about Walmart automation. How much are they going to automate? I think it's going to surprise you. There's a Bitcoin white paper. That would be the original paper that was published on your iMac right now, and you didn't even know it. I'll tell you about that. TikTok ban in Arizona. And finally, I got some good news. As always, some good news at the end of the show. Stick around for the after show, where I'll be going through all your comments and chit-chatting about other stuff. But let's get to the first story, shall we? And I was going to say, speaking of liars, if you know what this reference is, let me know in the comments. I'll tell you in the after show. But let's talk about RFK. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., an environmental lawyer and anti-vaccine activist, has filed paperwork with the Federal Election Commission to run for president in 2024 as a Democrat. Kennedy is a vaccine skeptic and has promised and promoted, he's promoted various claims on vaccines, as well as criticizing the federal government handling of the pandemic. He's been denounced by his own family members for his views, and his Instagram account has been taken down repeatedly for what they said were debunked claims concerning, you know, the last couple of years. 2024 Democratic presidential race is only beginning to take shape. President Joe Biden is expected to announce a bid for his second term. On the Republican side, President Donald Trump has already announced his third bid for the White House, but who knows what's going to happen with that? Anyway, what do you think of RFK Jr. running? I think that this is exciting, and I think what's going to be really interesting is to see how the media presents him, because often the way that someone is presented tells you what kind of coverage that they are going to get. And the media is so powerful. I know that the people that watch this show are hip to it. They're hip to what's going on, but you are such a tiny minority of the people in this country and the voters in this country. The media really can determine if anyone even has a chance at all. You can just look at how they have covered candidates in the past. And so far from what I've seen about RFK, they are going to hit him with, these claims that he promotes disinformation and things like that. That's what it appears that's going to happen. I think that this man has a lot of integrity. I don't care. If someone's wrong, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. I don't have a problem with being wrong. You need to be able to talk about ideas, and RFK Jr. is able to talk about ideas. You should confront the ideas of his that you don't like and not just besmirch him with misinformation and things like that. That's not convincing. He has some ideas, and if you don't like his ideas, then confront the ideas. That's my challenge to the media. But instead, I think there's just going to be a lot of ad hominem attacks on RFK Jr. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I would love to see him in a debate. I think it would be fireworks. It would be fantastic. Would I support him? Perhaps in the general, I could support him. He would have to win the Democratic primary, and that's not going to happen. I don't think the DNC is going to allow that to ever happen again. There's never going to be a candidate that they don't choose. They choose who they want to be their candidate. And besides, I'm not a registered Democrat. And on top of that, I'm in Oregon, and we're one of the last in the country to vote. So by the time the vote gets to Oregon in the primaries, it doesn't even matter. It's already been decided. So it is what it is. But I think this is a good move, that there's an actual legit Democratic candidate with some political experience. I know Marianne Williamson is running, but again, she's often just written off as well. And there might be some good reason for that. But I like Marianne, even though I disagree with her on many, many, many things. I think that it is great to have candidates that actually believe in something running. So, yeah, I think this is a good thing. Let's go, RFK Jr. Rah, rah, rah. Walmart automation. Here we go. Walmart has announced plans to have about 65%, 2/3 of its stores serviced by automation by the end of the fiscal year 2026. The announcement came during the retailer's annual investor meeting in Florida, just days after plans to lay off over 2,000 workers were revealed. Walmart is increasingly using its large stores to handle online order deliveries and is investing heavily in automation to speed up order processing and its e-commerce fulfillment facilities. Walmart did not comment on whether the move would lead to more layoffs, but said the changes would reduce the need for lower paid roles. So that's what they're getting rid of. They're getting rid of lower paid roles at Walmart, which is, most of the people that work at Walmart. And I don't think that we really have the imagination for the automation that is coming. I have seen some of these robots work, And it is amazing. I saw a robot janitor at an airport cleaning a bathroom. It could do everything. It could clean everything. And yeah, if you're going to have robots restocking shelves, you're going to have robots cleaning, but restocking, all the restocking is going to be done by robots. It's going to be amazing. And I don't think they're, they may save money by doing this. Do you think they're going to pass those savings on to you? Of course not. Of course not. More money for the shareholders, right? Increase shareholder value. That's what they'll be doing. Laying off more people, more and more people. And if this trend continues, soon they won't have the number of people working there. But where are these people going to go? The people that take jobs at Walmart, right? If you take a job at Walmart, it's got to be miserable working there. I can only imagine how miserable it must be to work at Walmart. But the reason that people take jobs there is because they don't have anywhere else to go. They don't have a career. That's why you take a job at Walmart, because they're hiring. And if now they're doing away with these jobs, what the heck are we going to do in this country? What are we going to do for essentially these like very entry-level jobs? They're not going to be available. I think that this is a crisis that we have not addressed. And, in the past, you would be like, oh, I guess, Walmart's putting all the mom and pop stores out of business, but then they can get the mom and pops to come work at Walmart. Okay. I mean, I don't like that trend. I wouldn't like that. If I had a small business, I'm put out of business, and then you go work for the company that puts you out of business. But now they're not even going to have jobs for you. That's pretty scary. And if they're doing all this automation and you're trying to compete with Walmart, well, you're also going to have that amount of automation. So trying to stay positive, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't shop at Walmart. I have not shopped at Walmart for a long time. I think it was January 1st, 1994, I made a New Year's resolution. I couldn't think of anything to do that year. So that year I resolved not to shop at Walmart or McDonald's. And I didn't miss it. I didn't miss McDonald's. I didn't miss Walmart. The year went by and I said, well, I don't know. Life's pretty good. I didn't need those. And I haven't been back. So, heck, that's almost 30 years next year it's been since I've been there. But, if everything's automated, I guess I probably don't need to go there anyway. What do you think about this automation? Are you scared or afraid or concerned? Let's just say concerned about the automation in retail. I am. I certainly am. This morning, I went to the doctor. I was getting a lipid panel, right? Getting my cholesterol checked, all that good stuff. And checking in at the hospital, there wasn't even a person there. I had to just walk up and, they had a little check-in kiosk that I had to enter everything in. And it would have been nice if someone was there because I wasn't sure if I was in the right place. It's like, I think this is the right place. I don't know. There's no one there to even tell you, oh, yeah, you're in the right place. Or, oh, no, the lab is down the hall. No. You just enter your information and you take a seat and you hope eventually that they call you. This customer service. Who cares about customer service, right? You're a captured customer. When you're there, there's nowhere else you can go, so they don't have to serve you well. In the same way, you know, if you're going to Walmart, you got nowhere else to go. So they don't need to have any customer service. They can just have all robots, right? I don't know. They talk about a dystopian future. I think we're just about there. But I got something interesting for you now. The Bitcoin Whitepaper by Satoshi Nakamoto apparently shipped with every copy of macOS since Mojave in 2018. The PDF is found in every version of macOS on Mojave and the current version, not in High Sierra or earlier. The whitepaper is used as a sample document for a device called Virtual Scanner 2 in the image capture utility, but it's not clear why it's hidden for some and what it's used for. There's virtually no information about this online, and it's not clear why the Bitcoin whitepaper was chosen. So if you're wondering what the Bitcoin whitepaper is, let's see, there we go. You can read it. You can, in the article, you can, if you have an iMac. Does anyone have iMac? Am I the only iMac person here, or is everybody everybody's on PCs? You can just go to terminal and you can type in a certain code and it will come up with the Bitcoin whitepaper. This was the original paper that was published that explained the logic and the reason for Bitcoin. And it's only, what's it, 12 pages or something. It's nice and short. So you can read that for yourself. You can find it, and it is on every book, every iMac. Now, the interesting thing with this is like, why did they do this? This isn't just an Easter egg. Speaking of Easter is coming up. Happy Passover, by the way. That's just where programmers hide things in the coding for whatever reason. Perhaps someone was a fan of Bitcoin and they just wanted to put this in. But they probably needed some small PDF to have to test things out on. And, you know, this is a short PDF. This is a small file, so they just used the Bitcoin whitepaper for this reason. But if you want to read the Bitcoin whitepaper yourself, you can type it into your terminal. You could just Google Bitcoin whitepaper. It's short. It explains everything about it, the purpose of it. And, you know, if you're not into Bitcoin, I am. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a very positive thing. I think it's a good hedge against the US dollar. But you have to do your own research on that. And what I found about Bitcoin, when you talk about Bitcoin, if people aren't ready to talk about it, it's an absolute turnoff, and they don't want to hear anything about it. So I understand that as well. I've never really been able to talk anyone into it. So I guess it's on your own time. Of course, right now, Bitcoin sitting around, what, 27,000. My estimation, it'll be worth $1 million someday. But that's just my take. And obviously, this channel is not investment advice. Right? So, is what it is. Anyway, let's get to something else, shall we? Governor Katie Hobbs of Arizona has issued an executive order banning the use of TikTok on all state agency devices with a 30-day grace period for compliance and the ability for agencies to file exemptions for sufficient justification. The move follows similar bans by Arizona State University, University of Arizona, Northern Arizona University, etc. Hobbs cites the need to reduce cybersecurity risks as the reason for the ban. Concerns about TikTok's national security threat have also been raised by the Biden administration, with implications that a ban across the entire U.S. is possible. Some members, however, are unconvinced. So what I don't understand, and I'm sounding like a boomer in my day, if you've got your own phone and you've got a work phone, right? I mean, that's what this is about. Having TikTok on your work phone. Why would you have anything on your work phone that's not for work? I don't understand this. That should be the policy. You got a work phone, you don't put a bunch of other crap on it, you know? You should, unless you're tweeting for your job, you shouldn't have Twitter on your work phone. You shouldn't have Facebook on your work phone. You shouldn't have anything on, they shouldn't have to start banning individual apps on state-owned phones, right? Next, you can't have Tinder on your phone. Well, what about Grindr? Oh, well, you can't have Grindr on your phone. Okay, well, what about Instagram? Well, you can't. Stop. You shouldn't have any of this stuff on your phone. And I don't know if there's I'm holding back. I'm holding back. Anyone that would put TikTok on a work phone probably shouldn't be working for the state. Yeah. If you're a state employee and you think it's appropriate to have TikTok on your work phone, I don't think you should have a job. That's just me. That's just me. I really don't even understand this story. The reason that I'm sharing this story is to say that I don't understand this. And perhaps I'm just too old. I always respected company property versus personal property. That's what it used to be like. Kids, back in the day. You would never put personal stuff on your work stuff. In fact, I can't imagine using your work laptop for anything personal because it's all being tracked, right? Don't do personal stuff on your work laptop, right? You got two phones. You use one for personal stuff, one for business stuff. It's not that hard. But apparently this is a big deal, and it concerns me that so many state employees are using TikTok on their own device. Much like, I think if you're using TikTok, you probably shouldn't even have a government job. They should just say, no, you're not responsible enough for a government job if this is what you choose to do. But I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, let's get to some good news, shall we? There we go. Okay. Some good news. I wanted to haven't really thought about this enough, okay? But it is Passover, and I wanted to talk about good news with Passover. Is there anything in Passover that we could use as good news? Now, obviously, good news is a coded phrase, right? Good news. Often they will use that for the word of God is good news, right? But it is a Passover right now. And one of the things of the Passover Seder, which is a big celebration, as if you are a Christian, you probably know that Passover happened right around the time that Jesus was crucified. And when he had his Last Supper, I believe that was the Wednesday I believe it was a Wednesday Passover Seder that took place. So the Last Supper was actually a Seder, and that's something that Jewish people will have their Passover Seder this week, right? But one of the tales in there, and I didn't do enough. I've been to several Passover Seders, and that's why I thought of this. But I didn't do enough research to really get into it. But I wanted to talk about the idea that you have these different children, and one's the good kid, and one is the dumb kid, and one is the wicked kid, right? And they have these, but the idea is that they're all at the table, and the story, the Passover story is for all of them, regardless if they're a good kid or a bad kid or a dumb kid, whatever. The story is for all of them. And, today we got all this cancel culture stuff, and we just dismiss people without hearing them, without being open to that. And I'm just reminded in this, around the Passover dinner, is that everyone is welcome together to hear the stories of the people, hear the stories of God's people, right? But everyone is welcome at the table. And too often today, we forget that, and we are excluding people based on politics or whatever. And I just wanted to remind you that at least, maybe this week, that we don't exclude people that might be wicked, that might be dumb. We don't need to exclude them from our dinner. We don't need to exclude them from our life. We can have them be part of the dinner, right? And everyone is welcome, regardless. And I think that that's a positive thing to think about. Now, I wish I'd actually would have written something about this. I'm still feeling ill. I'm still getting better. I don't know if you can tell in my voice. It's still a little there. That's not an excuse. I wanted to think this thing out better. I was actually going to make it as a monologue, but I didn't do that. But that was the good news that I thought of today. It's hard to come up with good news stories. And when I was thinking about what the good news was, I just went back to it. It's Passover, and we can have everyone at our table to share. And so that's what I'd like to encourage you to do. If there's people in your life that you've pushed out for ideological reasons or something like that, it's okay to invite them back in. You can always kick them out next week. So anyway, that's all I have about that. Remember, tomorrow is Friday, Fact Check Friday. So I'll have something with that. Stick around for the after show, where I'll go through your comments. And until then, have a beautiful day. Peace. All right, welcome back, everyone. So glad y'all are here and being patient with me as I try to do this. So let's what is going on here? So the Rumble chat is still, I tested this. And let's see. And Well, okay. Didn't work. Let's try that. Let's see. Hi, chat. Pop out chat. Let me hang on just 1 second here. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Why is there a whale icon next to our messages? Interesting. I don't know what the whale is. I think if they put a whale there because you gave money. I don't know. I've been playing around with the coding, and perhaps I did something where I didn't like the original thing. I don't know what I did there. So I'm still working on this coding, folks. I thought I made the YouTube chat bigger, but it's not. It's looking a little bigger than it did yesterday. I'll have to double check, but not a whole lot bigger. So I'll have to keep working on this. A lot of this stuff doesn't work unless it's live, because I'm doing it live. When I try it, at home, it works, and then it goes live and it doesn't work. But I'll keep working on that. But the Rumble says, "Hey, what's happening? Tobias is here. So is Duggo. Awesome." Duggo says the whale. It says supporter when you mouse hovers over it. So, yeah, that is kind of weird. Why don't I see others chatting? I'm not sure what you see, Miranda, on the Rumble chat. But again, I'll keep working on the chat. I think I'm actually going to make the chats like one on each side, but I just got to figure out how to make them bigger so you can actually read them on the screen. So that's something I'll keep working on. Let's see. Okay. Tom, could you do an all good news hour-long super extravaganza tomorrow, please? Otherwise, I may have to resort to mood-altering drugs. No pressure. It's hard to come up with good news stories, but you know what? That actually, I think if I made a new channel and just called it the Good News Show and just had good news on it, I don't think it could do a whole lot worse than this show is doing. I mean, I've got over 6,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I barely get 60 views. So, there's an idea there. Let's say, Miranda says, "I'm lying right now. This comment is a lie." That's good. Then a factory farm. I'm glad you like that line, Doug. I'm having new windows installed today. No lie. Well, I hope the weather is better where you are, Bastille, than it is here, because it is raining outside my window. I remember discussing in my parochial school of Little White Lie, first time I saw my instructors waffle on the biblical teachings. Interesting. Let's see. 42, yeah. According to life, the universe, and everything. Let's see. RFK Jr. is greater than Marianne Williamson. I'm glad that both of them are running. I wish both of them would get the attention, because I think they both have good messages. I especially find RFK Jr. to have a lot of integrity. So that's kind of exciting. There won't be a Democratic primary, pretty much. I don't believe in the Democratic primary anymore. Jody says, "I'm old enough. I remember the AIDS crisis, so I already know fishy stuff was happening. My dismay was the compliance from the smart people in my life." That was... Yeah, that was tough. That was tough there. Let's say I still Tobias says, "I still think I'm registered as a Dem from when I needed to vote for Bernie in the primaries. Not actually Democratic, though. I will remain unaffiliated. One thing that I did, I changed my voter registration just kind of after the last, I don't know, 4 years ago or something. And was it 4 years? It's been a while. I get vastly different political mailers than I did prior. That's for sure. As the owners get rid of workers with automation, how do they expect the unemployed populace have the means to buy their products and services? I don't know. Don't know. If you ask a robot where to find a product, will it drop everything to help you find it? Yeah, probably not. But they're going to do more and more of this stuff. They do this at Home Depot. You know, you go to Home Depot these days, and there's a lot of Home Depots in Portland. Every single one of them has a different layout, which doesn't make any sense to me. It's not the same layout in every store. You know, you go to a Target, they're all pretty much the same. I mean, some are 2 stories and some are 1 stories, but the layout is very, very similar. Home Depot is different. Every Home Depot I go to is different, which doesn't make any sense. But what they want you to do is download their Home Depot app, right? And then you can put in the product that you're looking for, and it will tell you what aisle, what shelf, and what box or whatever it is. And if there's any left, how many, the number, the quantity that are there. It is helpful. I really resent having to use that. And I think you can actually do it online as well. But you have to do that because you go to a Home Depot these days and you can't find anybody. Here, there's one person with an orange apron on, and they've got a group of people following them around because it's like, no, I get him next. You know. So they're helping one person, and then as soon as they're done with that person, there's other people gathered around because they need help as well. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe they could have a finder robot or something. Who knows? Let's see. Intelligent people are a dime a dozen. We need more wise people. Yeah, there's a difference between the two. The real people that I clean for prefer my service over a robot vacuum. That's for sure. I clean and assist for a living for now. Oh, that's seems like a good job. Yeah, obviously a person could do a better job than a robot, at least for vacuuming. Let's see. It's not just entry level. In the end, every professional position with AI. Okay. Just close all the Walmarts like they did in Portland. They won't be missed. Tom, the Walmart in Portland is supposedly closed. You know, they said they were closing them. But when I drove by, I think that they were still open. So I don't know. And then I live near the suburbs, and there are Walmarts in the suburbs, you know, the big super center kind of stuff. I don't know if those are sticking around or not. Again, I don't shop there, so I don't care, but I'm not sure. But yeah, they did a big story on the Portland Walmarts being closed. But when I drove by the one last week on 82nd, it still seemed to be open. So don't know about that. Sounds like the hospital scene in Idiocracy. I have watched Idiocracy recently, but I don't remember the hospital scene. Let's see. Jesse says, remember to hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate that. Watch the flame, Tom. It's flamier than usual. Yeah, I put a little bit too much flame juice in it today, and there's no way to really get the flame juice out other than just burning it off. Natasha says government employees aren't the sharpest tools in the shed. I think government employees are just probably a good reflection of the public at large. Jody says, I don't worry about AI. I worry more about groupthink, though. I pray they're not related, but they kind of are, seems like. It seems like. And Natasha says, the God of all creation wants to save us all. Excellent news. Yes. I left a message on Rumble. It didn't seem to post. I haven't figured it out yet. Well, I'm looking over at Rumble, Jody, and let's see, where did it go? I don't see your post there, so I guess it didn't. Again, it's stuff to work on, right? We're all learning here. That's the great thing about this channel. You can't expect perfection, and I don't expect perfection from you either. Let's see, Tobias, I see you're in both chats. I'm thinking is and was are both you. Okay. Tobias says, yes, Natasha, I'm considering bailing on YouTube and just watching things on Rumble when possible. You know, and yeah, if you can do that, that would be good. I would really like to build up Rumble. I don't know if the views on Rumble are real or not. It's hard, you know, when you see the number of views and the number of likes and things like that, you don't know if they're real. And I'm getting probably 10 times the views on Rumble that I'm getting on YouTube. Yeah, 10 times. But very few comments, very few likes. So I don't even know if it's real. It could just be bots, or it could just be, you know, some kind of algorithm to make me feel better about Rumble. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I would like some more people interacting over there. It says, Tom, today's shirt reminds me of doodle art. Perhaps. There was recently a block print of a wave, a Japanese artist with a wave, and I can't remember what it was, but it sold for millions and millions and millions of dollars, and this shirt kind of reminds me of that. I should know who the artist is, but I forget. Anyway, that's about it, folks. That's all I got today. Tomorrow I'll have a Fact Check Friday and some other news, some good stuff. So hope you all have a beautiful day, and I'll keep working, see if I can get this chat bigger on the screen. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow, right? Anyway, have a beautiful day. Until then, peace.